Hey everybody, Manimal here. As you can see, it's just me. So tonight's show will be just a little bit different. I didn't really get set up. I just got home from vacation, so I didn't want to worry about fixing everything up too much. Just on the case that Kevin couldn't be here tonight. He's had some power issues, which he hasn't had any power at his house now for 2 days. Last I talked to him, he just said that he wanted to sleep with some air tonight. What a way to spend your Memorial Day weekend between the heat yesterday and my power being off yesterday all day. My power was off yesterday. That's why there was no show yesterday. I didn't have power all day. And then once I got power restored at like 8 o'clock at night, Kevin lost power through the whole night. And then he hit me back again this afternoon saying I lost power. And then I had a torrential downpour come through, just destroyed my car. The hail, there's nothing I could do with it. It was already golf ball size by the time I even got out there. So insurance tomorrow for sure. But anyways, we've had a hell of a weekend here in Dallas. You guys know how stoked we used to be on Memorial Day weekend. That's over. I don't care about Memorial Day weekend ever again. You'll never hear us tell stories about Memorial Day. You will never hear us tell people that we like Memorial Day. It's just that's the end of our love for Memorial Day here on the Texas Rangers with the Boys show. But anyways, sorry, I've got my camera, all this stuff. I just trying to get on here and give you guys a little something. You know who I am. I'm the Manimal. You can find me on social medias at Manimal Bull on Twitter, Instagram Manimal 300, and both Facebook and TikTok Bull Pro. You can find Texas Rangers with the Boys on Facebook and Twitter and all the social medias at TX Rangers WTB. You can find us on our website at TexasRangersWithTheBoys.com. That's all one word. You can also continue, or I hope you're watching here on YouTube on the Sports Fluent Network. We're having a blast doing the Sports Fluent show here where we get do it with our faces and we're not just doing audio. And it was at a perfect time because our platform was going to drop the audio portion of their platform this coming month. So now all we have to do is load it in and we don't ever have to worry about that. So we love being on Sports Fluent Network. That's at Chilltown Hoops on YouTube. You can also menu bar search it at Sports Fluent and it'll bring you right to Chilltown Hoops. Texas Rangers with the Boys, the fitness show, the guys that, man, there was one the other day I saw, it was an interview with Dick Motta, and, being a Texas guy, man, I loved listening to Dick Motta talk about basketball. He was such a good coach here. I know he didn't win it all or anything like that, but that 87 team that took the Lakers to 7, that was some of the most fun basketball. It's almost as fun as the basketball we're getting right now, but this isn't a basketball show. I can talk about Dick Motta all day, but that seems weird. Anyway, don't forget to check out Kevin on social medias at Kevin Lee Frazier. And I'm just gonna get things started with some of the saddest news I've ever heard. This guy, you got to start talking about him being injury prone now, and it's going to derail one of the greatest careers that we possibly would have ever seen in baseball, and that's Ronald Acuna going to the IL or ending his season, going to be out 6 to 8 months with a torn ACL. It's just heartbreaking. Not to Braves fans, not to, I know it is for them because they live and die by that guy. They love him so much. But for baseball fans in general, just that, one of the greatest baseball players that we may ever see. I mean, the 1 year he's had that's healthy in the last, or the 2 years he's had that's healthy in the last 5 or so, he's got a Rookie of the Year and an MVP. He did something last year in 40 home runs and 70 or stolen bases that no one has ever seen before and may never see it again. So just for him to lose another year to an ACL, which is an injury he's had before. I mean, he knows the timetable, all that stuff, but it doesn't make it easier. It doesn't make it fun. It doesn't make you want to, I mean, you're not happy with it, Like, so, anyways, my heart goes out to Ronald Acuna. I mean, I get well, get healthy, get back on the baseball field, because we want to see you play healthy for these next several years and get a real sample size of what Ronald Acuna Jr. could be. So a little bit of, hurtful news. But you know what? I'm going to cheer everybody up because it just came down today, right before I got on here to do the show, that Angel Hernandez is going to retire. I mean, I don't think Angel Hernandez is the worst umpire in the game of baseball. I think that goes to Laz Diaz, and we'll talk about that later in the night for sure. But Angel Hernandez has called his last baseball game. He will retire effective today. So, some would say farewell, but I think a lot more would say good riddance. So, Angel, I hope to see you never. So, let's see what else we got in baseball. We've got, you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to tell you that on Friday, May 24th, Matt War Pro had a huge show at the Southside Preservation Hall. It's a huge success. Lots of people came out. Love to see everybody that came out. I'll have more information on the next Matt War Pro show as it becomes available to me. So I just wanted to say, put it out there. Matt War Pro, they're a great sponsor for us. They've really helped us in a lot of ways with this show. So anytime we can talk about them, we do want to give them a quick minute of our time. So Matt War Pro, thank you guys for being a sponsor of the show. Thank you for allowing us to put you on our show and talk about you or your promotion. And anyways, that's all I have on Matt War Pro. I just wanted to say, I wanted to keep everybody kind of in the loop because we do talk about it every day, and I didn't talk about it today. So that, obviously the show was last Friday. It's I guess this will be Tuesday show because we took Memorial Day off, not because we wanted to, more so because we had to. But anyways, Rangers, they had a 1-2 weekend. I really thought it could have been a 2-1 weekend. It probably should have been a 2-1 weekend. We'll talk about that wild 7th inning of the Saturday game here in a minute. Friday night, there wasn't much to it. Over the weekend, some moves that happened. Sean Anderson was designated for assignment to make room for Gerson Garabito, who pitched on Sunday afternoon. So we'll talk about Gerson Garabito's major league debut here in a minute. Let's see. I'm not, I've been out of town. I'm not going to act like I'm as up to date on things as I should be. But I will say this, that the Rangers, 6 in a row, they lost. And that's a tough thing. And, it's easy. It's really easy to start getting down on the team. It's really easy to get, sidetracked by what you want out of the team instead of what's happening with the club right now. So, as far as the Rangers are going right now, good signs on Sunday, some good signs on Saturday as well. So I think, as much as we've been hard on the Rangers this last week, we'll talk about that more as the week goes on. They've got a nice week here where they've got 2 days off with just a series with Arizona in between it. And then, and then Thursday off before a Friday series. So the Rangers have got a good week for them to recoup. get their pitching set up a little bit better, get Nathan Eovaldi back. I did see that Nathan Eovaldi threw a sim game the other afternoon. Maybe it was Saturday, so hopefully he'll be ready at some point, maybe this weekend to throw. You never know on that in that case, but right now with the Rangers, it's just waiting out these injuries and hoping that the Rangers can play, 500-ish baseball going into getting healthy. We're starting to think that we'll see Josh Young back here anytime now. He's been cleared for baseball activities. So, you're starting to think that, okay, maybe we'll start seeing Josh Young back. We've got the idea that, I know Cody Bradford was just moved to the 60-day, but he's still not too far off. But, we got time on that. He isn't throwing. Max Scherzer's still shut down. I imagine that we're just at a point right now that we're just kind of waiting and hoping that Eovaldi can get back. Dunning can start managing some time. Gray doesn't take much more than the 15 days that he's going to be on the DL or IL. So right now it's just, waiting and trying to ride the storm out while they're the most injured team in baseball for sure. And, I don't think that the Rangers at this point are really in a bad way. I just think that, when you have a 6-game slide and you haven't put together any winning streaks, it's easy to start seeing the warts real fast. And, what was it, like 14 games in a row where the Rangers didn't score more than 4 runs until Sunday. So that's a really, you want to be positive, but there's a lot of negative at the same time. So we're going to be positive. We said this from the very beginning. It's about staying 500. You know how it always goes with sports. The team will lose their best player to free agency. The next year, they'll come out and have the best year they've ever had. The Rangers, the whole year or the whole offseason, it was like, what are they going to do with starting pitching? Are they going to have enough starting pitching? And the starting pitching has been absolutely fine. It's just the hitting hasn't been as good or in the same league as it was last year. And now also, if you remember in April and May last year, the Rangers were on the same pace as the 1929 Murderers Row Yankees. So you knew that wasn't going to hold forever. You're starting to see Corey Seager get hot. You're starting to see Garcia get back into the swing a little bit. He had that stretch there where his runs created was like 5. That's awful. You want it to be somewhere in the 130s. So 5, that's terrible, but you're going to have to find out, when Josh Young is back and healthy, what are you going to do with Josh Smith? Because you want to keep his bat in the lineup, and he's been a really productive piece so far this year. So, the Rangers, they're in one of these holding patterns right now where they're trying to stay afloat, and it's tough because they're running into injuries on top of the injuries that they were trying to wait out, and now Gerson Garabito. I know Lorenzen left Saturday's game, but it looks like it was just a cramp, so he should be available to make his next start. But yeah, let's get into Rangers box scores from the weekend. Friday night, it wasn't ugly, but it wasn't pretty. They just the Rangers scored 2 runs on their first 2 batters, and they went 27 outs without doing anything. And that's just, it's disappointing. You manage 4 hits after you get, 2 in your first 2 at bats, and Over looked like they had him on the ropes there a little bit, and they just couldn't capitalize on it. And I thought Urena pitched well again. Just 3 runs over his 5.5 or 5 2/3 or whatever he gave him on Friday night. So they had the 2-run homer from Seager, and like I said, 5 innings from Urena, 9 hits, 3 earned, 6 strikeouts, 1 walk. Anderson gave him a third of an inning, walk and a hit, got 1 guy out, so pitched to the 3 minimum batter. Latz came in, Latz has pitched much better recently. He had a little stretch there where he wasn't great, but he so far this year has been a pleasant surprise. And Jose Leclerc, he did have a couple of walks, but the stuff was good on Friday night. And the Rangers, just they were in the game the whole night. One swing of the bat away from tying the thing up, but it never happened, and they just couldn't get it into that Twins bullpen fast enough, or the Twins couldn't get into their bullpen fast enough and slow things down. And once Duran's out there, he's kind of settled in now after his little bit of a shaky start. So pretty bland, pretty dry. But the Rangers on Friday, they lose 3-2. On Saturday, the Rangers lose 5-3, and David Robertson takes the loss right there. But, man, I am putting this loss on Laz Diaz. This dude, he completely changed the ball game in the 7th inning. Lorenzen left the game after 6 innings with a cramp. They bring in Jesus Tanaka to relieve Lorenzen. He gives up a single to the first batter. He walks the second batter. But, obviously, that was a strike. It covered the whole strike zone if it ended at the bottom of the strike zone. That's a strike. And for them to not call that strike, that's a tough break for Tanaka. And then it gets even deeper in that inning. A foul tip into the glove of Jonah Heim. Laz Diaz calls the foul tip and the out. And then for no reason at all, goes down to the third base umpire and asks his opinion, and was overruled. The crew chief, the home plate umpire, on his call was overruled by a third base umpire. Whenever, not once did Laz Diaz go to third base on a check swing. He made sure he made every one of those calls. Laz Diaz can go too. That guy, and then on top of that, the arrogance. Look, Bruce Bochy is about as calm as he's ever been as a big league manager. And for him to be that upset and know that that's just garbage. It's garbage. And umpires aren't held accountable for anything. And, that's what ends up happening. Robertson comes in. He gets out of the 7th with just 1 run on the board, but he has to throw extra pitches because of the foul tip into the glove that he doesn't call. They don't get correct, and then he ends up walking another batter before he gets a sac fly and gets out of the inning. And then in the bottom half of the 8th, Robertson didn't get a strike call in a 1-2 count. Puts the guy on, 3-run home run. That looked like it was about as wind aided as it could possibly be, but I saw a ball that Seager hit about 300 feet that almost carried 350. So, Robertson, just a little bit of bad luck on Saturday afternoon. He takes the loss to go to 2-2. It's his 4th blown save of the season. Yates comes in, gets the final 2 outs to the 8th inning, and Duran, shut it down again, and the Twins escape 5-3. And then on Sunday, the Rangers actually did score a few runs, and you kind of felt good about things after scoring 6 runs. And it started with Corey Seager. He had a couple of home runs that really. He's really starting to pick up. He's almost back up to an 800 ops now, and probably will be by the end of the week. So you're starting to see Seager heat up a little bit, and Josh Smith and Tavares and Lowe are starting to heat up a little bit. Tavares is hitting 5-hole now because he's been one of the more steady bats on the thing the last month, and his numbers are starting to show it. He's up over 700 on the ops, and he's getting on base, and he's he's keeping innings alive, and for a team right now that's desperate for that, him and Lowe are doing a really good job of keeping innings alive, getting it to the next guy. Heim's struggling a little bit right now, but he'll pull out of it. And Zeke Duran, he's starting to come around this season. He got his first home run on Saturday. I mean, things are going well, better for Zeke and Evan Carter. He's struggling a little bit right now, but I don't think anybody in the Rangers organization has lost confidence in Evan Carter and his ability to be a ball player or his ability to be a big leaguer at some point. Right now, things aren't going as well as he would probably like, but overall, man, he's going to come out of this. It's not like he's working it. He's going to be working just as hard, keeping this going. So, I just think that, right now, for Evan Carter, it's just about continuing to play the flow of the game that's coming to him. And it's going to be right-handed batters. He's not going to get a whole lot of opportunities against lefties. And, he's just got to take advantages of the situations he gets placed in. And, hopefully